Hello, insiders. I'm so excited to be here with you. So I'm actually up at a conference in Vegas right now. I'm going to be doing a back-to-back workshops on how to be free from food addiction and obsession. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden it occurred to me, it's June 1st. And all of a sudden, the impulse to come here, hey, Lindsay, yay, to come here and to connect with you, like it just like it was overwhelming. So I stole up to my room, came over here, turned on, and here is the deal. Because today's June 1st, that means that we have this beautiful opportunity midway point into our year to really look at, gosh, okay, let me just kind of check in with where I'm at and with, how I'm feeling, and let me actually really think about, feel into what I want still this year, what I would love to feel or experience or have by the end of the year this year. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to guide you through some questions right now, and I'd love your participation. So Lindsay and everyone else who's going to be tuning in, whether you're tuning in to the recording or whether you are tuning in live right here, Becca, so good to see you too. Let's get in some discussion about this. Let's talk about what it is that you want to call in, because here's what I find is that we have a tendency to start thinking about what we want, start talking about what we want even sometimes. And then we're so used to the, but it's like this. I really want this, but I can't have it because of this. I really want this, but, and we have this constant but thing going on that we're never able to actually fully let ourselves have the sweetness of really feeling into what it is that you want. So I'm going to guide you through these questions, and I would love for you to post in the comments, and you can always do some further journaling about it. You can make some further comments into our group, onto the group page, to really just feel into this stuff. Because, raise your hand if you know that you are here to shine your light and to help more people in the world. Raise your hand. Give me a little hand raise icon, or just say shine my light in the comments of like, yeah, I just know I'm here to shine my light. I know I'm here to help more people. I know I'm here to do something bigger in the world. I know that whatever life is right now, even if there's a lot that's great, even if there's a lot of good things and I've got so much to be grateful for, I know that there's another level for me of really, stepping into even more visibility, of stepping into even more authenticity, of stepping into even more confidence to be able to put myself out there and really share my message, share my voice, share some kind of gift or wisdom with the world, with others. I know that there's something here that I'm meant to do. If that resonates for you, then the way I feel about it is that we are always being compelled to evolve. And I don't think that that needs to come from this place of, when am I going to get there, or what's wrong with me, or I'm broken, or I've got to fix this now and I've got to fix this over here, and when will this be how it needs to be, and all this stuff. That's not the energy we're talking about here. What we're really talking about here is, how do I go from where I am right now, which I want to ask you in just a moment here. In fact, I'm going to ask you right now, I want you to acknowledge one thing in the comments about just acknowledging one thing that has happened over the last 6 months of this year that you just want to acknowledge. And we're not even going to say I'm proud of myself, because I think that pride kind of gets a little bit sticky here. But just to say, I really want to celebrate this. I really want to celebrate this one thing that happened over the last 6 months. I'd like to celebrate that. It's not a brag. It is you just really acknowledging how far you've come. It's so beautiful. And what I find is that wherever we are, if we find ourselves on this winning streak, or we find ourselves, feeling really, really stuck, wherever we are right now, it is either an access point or a launching pad for whatever is next. It's just an access point or a launching pad for whatever is next. And so there's always something next. And it doesn't have to mean that it's coming from this place of lack or scarcity or not enough or fixing or broken. It just means, oh my gosh, I'm just ready for whatever is next in my way. So if you're relating to this, I want to know if you're relating to this. And so please post in the comments here, and let's just dive right in. So the first thing I want to ask you right now is, what are the top three things that you are wanting to experience, feel, or have over the next 6 months? What are the top three things? It's so beautiful because we're at this place. It's like, it's 6 months. Hey, Jen, beautiful. I was just talking about Freedom Embodied Academy. And it's at this beautiful 6-month mark of the women who've been in the Freedom Embodied Academy, and just seeing the incredible, just seeing the beautiful stuff that has come already, seeing women gotten free of, anxiety, just gone, like sugar addiction, just gone, just feeling more comfortable in their own skin, feeling more able to just use their voice, feeling more clear on their purpose. It's like every place that we are is always a launching pad for what's next. And I'm actually so excited. And Jen, I'm so excited. Hey, beautiful lady. Oh, honey, I love you so much. It's been amazing. And I'm so excited for our training, PS, by the way, on Tuesday, because we're just like, we're now in that like second round of like going and like next leveling all the stuff that we've been doing. It's like so good. But so what are the three things? So we've got some different areas here, right? We've got like the area of your health. So that might be something that's super up for you. I know a lot of people in this community are wanting freedom around their relationship with food or food obsession. Like, what if that could actually be possible for you in the next 6 months? Like, what if you actually were no longer obsessing and thinking about food anymore? What might open up then? What might open up then? So maybe it's that. Maybe that you want to be more active. Maybe you want to feel more healthy. Yeah, recognize your self-worth, get free of food addiction, and become more present and embrace the moment. Hallelujah, sister. That sounds amazing. That sounds so amazing. And it's so possible, which is so, so great. So, so great. I love that. And it's a super grounded answer too, which it really, really is, Lindsay. And I feel that so much for you. So this is what is so powerful. So we have health, right? We have health. Maybe you want to be able to just feel more like you can just move easier in your body, or you want to drop some weight, or you want to just, start to get stronger in your body, or just feel like you have more energy. Maybe get rid of the chronic pain, which is another thing that absolutely, I mean, I'm so on board with supporting you around that. That's a huge, huge thing. So what might it be there? We've got like career and purpose. I made a little list here, so I'm just going to refer to my list. Career and purpose. So for those of you who are like, yeah, I know I'm here to shine my light. I know I'm here for something bigger. Maybe it's actually taking active steps in your purpose. Maybe it's just getting clarity around your purpose. Maybe it's just getting, like getting into a job that feels more congruent with you. I know, Becca, that was something that happened for you recently. And maybe there's even a next level for you around that. Just feeling more like I'm actually doing work here that feels like a congruent match for what my values are, for what I'm a stand for the deep work that I know I'm here to do in the world, for the deep gifts that I have to share in the world. I know that there's something about the work that I'm doing right now that feels totally aligned. Let me tell you that is like one of the biggest things that will allow you to have lasting freedom from any addiction or obsession, definitely food addiction and obsession. Because when you are filled and fueled by the purpose and the vision and the inspiration and the excitement to share your message, to help other people, to get outside of like the self-pity, self-consciousness, do I fit in? Am I enough? Like, you get out of all of that, you get out of yourself and you get into the world, and not in that sort of projected way where we're not connected to ourselves. It's like you're bringing the fullness of who you are out into the world. When you are doing that authentically, fully, like, it is so filling, it is so fueling that it will fill and fuel so much for you, that's what allows for food to just be food. That's what allows for you to not be reaching for an external sense of, source of ease and comfort outside of you, because you're so charged and fueled by what's going on inside of you. I mean, that's like the excitement that I have right now. I'm sitting there in this conference and I'm sort of like, preparing for like my workshop, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to get up and I've got to check this. I've got to check in with my people. Like, we've got to connect, because this stuff's important right now. And we're on June 1st. And this is the day that I got to do this and connect with you all. So I'd love to hear Jessica. Yay. I'm so glad that you're here. For sure. For sure. So we've got career and purpose. We've got family. And that can be lots of different things, lots of different people. There's women who I work with who are like, I really, really know that this year I want to get pregnant. And family for other people is like, hey, I've been estranged from certain members of my family. And so for me, family is like actually feeling like I can just be authentic, to be connected again with certain family members, or I just feel like I can't be myself around certain family members, or I'm walking on eggshells, or, I don't speak up. I'm just like people pleasing in my family all the time. So we have all these dynamics that happen in family. And so, what is your relationship with family by the end of this year? Or are you really looking to create your soul family? Are you really looking to create a like-minded community of people who get you, who you can be real with, who you can just exhale with, who totally got you? What was I just, one of the ladies in the academy just told me that because she's been like super busy, and she said she was on the last call, and she's like, I got called by like 3 of the other ladies in the program to say, hey, we missed you. Where are you? That's the kind of stuff we're talking about here, of like, oh no, we notice when you're not here. We think about you. We remember you. We care about you. We care about you being your most authentic, beautiful, powerful, inspired channel out in the world. Like, we care about all of that. So maybe it's creating soul family. So just see if that resonates for you. These are just kind of some ideas as you're talking about and thinking about, what are the top 3 things that I want to really feel, experience, or have over the next 6 months, or by December 31st, 2019, what do I want to have in my life? Yay, Jen. So loving you, sister. So loving you so, so much. Relationships. Let's talk about it. Relationships. Some of us want to be in a romantic relationship. Some of us want to be out of a romantic relationship. Some of us want to have deeper friendships. Some of us just want to have deeper relationships overall. Stop being so surfacey and feel like you have people who you can just go deep with, who appreciate your depth, who appreciate your intensity, who you're not too much for, or you're not enough for. I always had this constant, I don't know about you, when it comes to friendships, I had this constant feeling of like, I'm too intense, I'm too serious, I'm too deep. Do you ever get that? Like, I'm too deep, or I'm just too much, or I'm not fun enough. Any of those things, that used to be up for me all the time. And so it had me holding back a bit in friendships, and or just kind of, that's where like the people pleasing stuff comes in. It's like, okay, well, I'm not really going to be the full me, because the full me is a little bit too much. So I'm just going to kind of ease back on this. And then we're like swallowing ourselves, and that kind of stuff just keeps us stuck all the time. And so maybe it's just having more authentic relationships, or maybe it's just having the confidence to finally put yourself out there in the dating world, or maybe it's saying, it's really getting clear and saying, gosh, I don't just want to date any old person. I don't want to just sleep around. Like, I'm just calling in like deep, meaningful, true relationships, partnerships, connections with people. I just am like in a phase of my life where I just want to go deeper. I just want to go deeper, and I want to make myself available for whatever that means in all the different ways that relationships show up in our lives. Maybe it's my relationship with God or spirit or source that I'm really wanting to go deeper in. Maybe I feel, that there's this level that I have all these spiritual beliefs, but like I'm ready for like a true level of depth with that, a true level of intimacy with my own spiritual, creator, with creator energy. Maybe there's just this true depth of like relying on and feeling and being moved by and guided by that power. Maybe it's relationship with yourself or your body. So just consider if that's an area for you that you're really wanting more stuff around. Yes, honey, yes. Love, love, all day long. So just think about these things. And then finally, but certainly not least, we have our self-esteem. And so in the next 6 months, you know, Lindsay, you were sharing a little bit about this. It's like recognizing your self-worth, like how amazing. I mean, the conference that I'm at right now, the entire theme of the conference is you're enough, you're enough. And there's like 400 people there who, you know, when the founder of this event's like, you know, raise your hand if you've ever not felt enough or you've ever not felt worthy. And it's like everyone's hands go up, right? You know, it's like, this is kind of this thing. And so imagine in 6 months from now, actually authentically feeling your worth, feeling your enoughness. And not only I'm just enough, but like I'm more than enough. In fact, I'm like overflowing. In fact, it's not even about anymore about whether I'm worthy or whether I'm not worthy, because like that whole conversation is so old to me. It's obsolete. Of course I'm enough. And now I get to do this next thing in the world. Because it's like, duh, of course I'm enough. That is possible. Like that is possible. That's beautiful. And so when it comes to your self-esteem, when it comes to your confidence to put yourself out there right now, do you feel yourself stuck? Do you feel yourself having this big desire to put yourself out into the world and then holding back, playing small, getting stuck, feeling confused, you know, feeling like just this lack of confidence or super self-conscious? I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to get judged. I'm concerned what other people are going to think about me, or I don't know if anyone cares what I have to say. I don't really know what I have to say. What if I start to talk and like the words don't even come out, or, you know, any of these things that we have to, that we think. And so we kind of take these steps back, or usually what ends up happening is that we're not so aware that we're taking these steps back, but what will usually happen is some kind of distraction will come up in our lives, some kind of thing that just is like, oh, all of a sudden I've got to go put this fire out over here. All of a sudden, like my family really needs me to go handle this. All of a sudden work's gotten so busy and that's pulling me over there. It's like we have all these ways. All of a sudden my health has just gone over here and I've got to spend all my time in doctor's appointments. All of a sudden I've got to go get my, you know, all this dental work happening. I mean, you know, it's like stuff, life will just pop up, right? It'll pop up and we're like, okay, I need to actually just take some steps back because I'm really, really scared. This is the stuff. And so imagine actually having, I'm going to say confidence, but what I really mean is courage. What I really mean is courage, because confidence is like, it really is courage. It's being willing to feel fear about something and to take aligned, empowered, congruent action anyway. You know, that's really what that is. Like, am I willing to put myself out there? Well, am I willing to mess up, be wrong, look bad, get rejected? Yeah, like am I willing to do those things, you know? And what's so beautiful is that when you, Lindsay, get to a place of like truly just feeling your worth and your value coming from the inside, and you're like, I'm okay no matter what from the inside, then like, guess what? It gives you the confidence to put yourself out there. That's where confidence comes from. It's like, hey, I don't need anything on the outside to determine my sense of self inside. And so, yeah, I'm going to go try that thing. This is the stuff that gets to open up for us. This is the stuff that is so powerful. So Rose, I'm so glad that you tuned in here today. It's so awesome to be here with you. And for those of you who are listening to this recording, this is good stuff. So I've only seen Lindsay sharing about the top 3 things that you're really wanting to feel, experience, or have over the next 6 months or by December 31st, 2019. What you're wanting to have, what you're wanting to experience, what you're wanting to feel, what you're wanting to embody. So just share those things in the comments. And then I want to just kind of switch gears into another part of this conversation, which might have been going on in the whole background of your mind the whole time we were talking about all these things. And that is this. What are the biggest challenges that are coming up for you? What's getting in the way for you and actually having or experiencing what it is that you want? What's getting in the way for you? So I want to see in the comments what you feel like the biggest challenge or roadblock is that is preventing you from experiencing what it is that you want, how you would love to feel, what that self-worth or that confidence or that ability to be present or that ability to connect meaningfully and deeply in your relationships, or that freedom around food addiction and obsession, or that clarity around your purpose. What do you find is the big thing or the big things that are getting in the way for you? So I want to hear a little bit about that. Yes, Jen, love it. Body love, deep, close relationship with God, sacred rituals and practices that give me time. Oh, girl, I hope that you're going to be there on Tuesday's call. I hope so, girlfriend, because you're going to, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I was actually thinking about you as I was writing the content for it. I'm like, this is so for Jen DeJulio. I'm like so excited for her to get this training. So good. Good. So exciting. So yeah, so what do you feel like is in the way for that right now? I want to hear from you. I want to know. Gosh. I'm just thinking about like all these things that I've been hearing recently on these freedom from food breakthrough sessions that I've been doing with a lot of the folks who've been coming from the interview series and the masterclass, and we've just been able to connect and go deeper. And I'm just thinking about some of the stuff of like, gosh, well, just fear. Fear comes up, fear of the unknown, fear of change, kind of like better the devil you know. I'm kind of like, even though it's not super comfortable in this little familiarity zone, it's sort of like, I know it, it's familiar, it's kind of in my safety zone here. And so there's just this fear around the unknown. It's a really big deal actually, because when I speak with a lot of people and they're like, I want to be free. I want to be free of the addiction. I want to be free of the obsession. I want to be free from this stuff. I just want to be able to be authentic. And then when we sometimes take that out just a few steps ahead, what comes up is, whoa, that fills me with anxiety. The freedom fills me with anxiety. To not have my time be filled up with obsession about food, about whatever the obsession or addiction is, that actually freaks me out a little bit. And that anxiety about the freedom alone can sometimes be reason for us to not take the action in the first place. And so what's really important, and I just will share this here, I'm just going to bust this myth right now, right here. If you have that one, please admit it. Please call yourself out. Say, I got that one, got the anxiety about the freedom one. Yep, got that one. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're going to be on the training. Here's the thing about this one is that we have this tendency to take our current mental construct that is living in the current paradigm that we're in, so our current state of consciousness, and then we project into this kind of like future of like, okay, now I'm free. But what we erroneously do is we assume that our same consciousness, that our same mental construct that's living in this paradigm is going to be the same mental construct that's going to be living in that paradigm, or that's going to be living in that reality rather, or in that timeline or that trajectory, right? And this is the problem, because you've heard me say it a million times, but it never gets old. Just like Einstein says, no problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created it. We cannot be in this consciousness and have a new experience. We cannot do that. You'll remember Mary from the Embodied, from the interview series. For those of you who tuned into the interview series, we were talking about archetypes, and we were having this conversation. She and I are so on board with this, and we talk about the same thing. And I remember her saying this in her interview: the person who is well is not the same as the person who is sick. It's actually not the same person. And I see that happen. And Jen, you were there with me. You were there with me at the Free, Clear, and Connected retreat. Like, you saw people changing before your eyes. You saw people coming in afraid, and you changed. Hello. You saw people coming in afraid, feeling unsafe, feeling uncomfortable in their skin. Literally by the end of the weekend, like us looking at her and being like, you look like a mermaid. you look so luscious and sensual, like something's changed about you. Like seeing voices change, facial expressions change, like people coming into just their internal softness, like just softening into this more embodied, beautiful, feminine way of being, like cracking through years, lifetimes of like not being comfortable feeling feelings into turning into like this like beautiful, like sensitive, loving creature. I mean, just like seeing this stuff happen, literally witnessing people completely, I don't even want to say be recreated, but it's like stepping into the fullness of who they are. This is the stuff. You are so different. You're a different human. You have different thoughts. You have a different perspective. You're seeing from a different vantage point. When you pass through an embodied experience, that when you are free of the obsession and the addiction of food or whatever it is, your thoughts are different. You don't even have the same fears and thoughts. It's a completely different thing. It's like you imagine like, you know, this like 7-story building, and if like somebody's standing at the ground floor and the person's standing on the 7th floor, and the person's like standing on the 7th floor and they're like, oh my gosh, look at that park. It's so beautiful. I love that. And I love how the sun is setting and it's so pretty over there. Oh my God, look at the scene over here. And the person on the 1st floor is like, I don't know what you're talking about. All I can see is a parking lot across the street and a bunch of cars. I can't see what you're talking about. And it's like, no. Just over there, just over the fence, just over that barrier right there. There's a beautiful park. You don't see it. You don't see the sun. You don't see all these beautiful things. You don't see the trees and the birds. You're not seeing all this beautiful nature. It's like, no, I'm seeing this street and I'm seeing these cars, and, you know, stop it already. It's like that. It's like it's a different vantage point. And so that's the thing that I will say about fear, is that there really is no point in being afraid of what is next, because what happens is, as you take that leap, as you take the leap, even on your first step on the path. I mean, I share this with people when they're like, hey, I'm deciding to dive in with both feet into the Freedom Embodied Academy. I say, well, congratulations, because the quality that you just demonstrated right there is the exact same quality that you're going to use to get free from whatever addiction or obsession that you need to get free from. It's the exact same quality. Because when you go all in, when you say, I'm taking this leap in spite of my fear, that's where the courage comes in. That's where the confidence comes in, right? And that's where in the leap, you gain access to the power that will transform you, so that when you land, you are different on the other side of that land. You are different. And then that becomes your new access point, your new launching pad for what's next. And so it's this beautiful way that we get to leapfrog into new timelines and new reality and new levels of consciousness and new levels of freedom. And this is what opens up for us. So Julie, yay, another sister from the Academy. So good to have you here with us. Yes, it was so beautiful. And Julie was there too. She had an amazing transformation too. We all love that. We all saw that happening before our eyes. So I want to hear from you, and you're being a little bit shy here, but you know, but as you're just considering this for yourself, like what are those challenges, and what do you find? And if you're like, I don't know, if I knew, Deb, then that would be so much easier. And what I'll just share to that is, if you are having trouble really getting clear on what it is that you want, or you're having trouble really getting clear on what's in the way, or you feel like, I think this is in the way, but I'm not actually sure what's really in my way. If you and I haven't ever hopped on a call together, or if we haven't hopped on a call together in a while, then grab a spot on my calendar, because let me help you with this. I mean, this is really what I do with people in the Free from Food breakthrough sessions. Like, this is what we get to do, plus a whole lot more. We get to go a lot deeper, but you know, this is the stuff that I find is hard, actually. It's hard to go deep into this and to really, really get clear on those true things. So if you want support around that, then just put breakthrough in the comments. I will get you the details, and we can set that up. But you know, as you're considering this stuff and you're considering what it is that you really want, and then just, you know, get in touch with that part of you And maybe one of the things that's in the way is that feeling of like, it's not possible. It's not possible. Like, yeah, Deb, I can, kind of, like lip service. I can pay lip service to this conversation, but really, like, I don't really feel like it's possible for me. I don't feel like it's possible because it never has been possible. And I don't want to get my hopes up by really wanting this to be this way. And so I'm just going to kind of stay with the status quo, because at least then I don't get my hopes up and they don't get dashed and I don't get disappointed. Although that reasoning doesn't really work, because then we're just perpetually disappointed. So, but maybe that's one of the blocks, right? Hey, Shan, good to see you. Yeah, so just kind of check in with all of these things around you, and just notice, like, what's that costing you to be feeling in whatever pattern you're in. Maybe it's a fear of the unknown, or maybe it's just, the pull or the ease or the comfort of the pattern that you're in is just so alluring that it's like, it just is such a default. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's just like, someone said to me, a client said to me a couple of years ago, she's like, well, food's my crutch. And I said, is it just a crutch? And it really had her think about it. And she was like, oh my God, like, food is my everything. It's not just a crutch. It's like my source of power. Like, I'm going to that for everything. And, it's important to see that. And gosh, what's the cost of that? How is that costing me in my relationships? How is that costing me in my confidence? How is that costing me in really living my purpose? I was speaking with so many people, at this conference, but also, over the interview series and the masterclass, as we were on our clarity calls and our breakthrough sessions. And, so many people saying, I'm holding back on my purpose because I'm not walking my talk, because I feel like I'm living incongruently, because how can I be a mouthpiece for health and wellness when I'm having this struggle with food, or, when I'm having all this anxiety and self-doubt come up? How can I, I'm not even trusting my inner guidance. Like, how can I really be a stand for other people? And so it can hold us back in all of these areas. And so it's important just to look at this stuff. It's important to look at this stuff and to really get clear on, gosh, what's one thing that I really need right now to get me through this block, to get me through this place that I'm at? A big word that's been coming up, and tell me if you've been, hi Parskevi, did I say that correctly? I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. Please tell me, and Laura, so glad that you're here. Please tell me how to pronounce your name if I just butchered it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, considering, like, what's one thing that I really feel like I need right now that can put me on the path of really being able to actually have what I want. Maybe it's, I need some support getting past my block that it's not possible, or I need some help, moving past this, for those of you who are part of the masterclass that we recently did, where we were talking about, like, the 4 different sabotage drivers, and we were talking about, like, the 4 different voices, essentially. And I spoke about this, Julie, you were there at Freedom Talks recently too. But talk about the hedger. So the hedger is the person who gets right to the very, very brink of a breakthrough, right to the very, very edge, and they're like all dressed up and ready to go, right? I'm gonna do this, and and they're like 99.9% of the way there, and then they just don't do it, and then they back away, and then they go back to the pattern of whatever the thing is. If we got any hedgers listening here, you can put hedger in the comments. No judgment. We've all done it. I've certainly done it. We've all done it at certain times in our lives. But maybe that's the biggest thing, right? I'm a hedger, and I have this pattern in my life. And so, we can ask ourselves a couple questions if we're a hedger. Like, hey, how's that working for you, being a hedger? I can tell you right now that it is doing something. right? I mean, in all the times that I've ever been a hedger, it's definitely been like, okay, back to the world of familiarity, slowing down the rate of change, slowing down the rate of transformation, right? So like what happens is that when freedom takes us, it's like we actually get onto a new trajectory, right? We're no longer on our own, we're not living in our own paradigm, in the control center of what we think of, kind of like how we're trying to structure things, because freedom doesn't live in the world of control. Freedom, and I'm not talking about out of control, I'm talking about that you actually gain access to a different kind of power that is moving you, and it feels exponential sometimes. It feels exponential, like all of a sudden shifts are happening and things are going on in your life, and it feels so exponential. And so what can happen is that we get scared of the rate of change because it can happen so quickly that we want to slow that down. We want to slow it down. It's like, whoa. Have you ever had that experience where like you have a breakthrough or something happens and all of a sudden, like, you know, you've been wanting something for a long time and then you have a breakthrough and all of a sudden it happens and you get it and something else comes into your life and opportunities come into your life and things are just like, oh my gosh, everything's just lining up and it's amazing. And then all of a sudden, somehow we go back into the mindset of like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. How am I going to manage all of this? And we go back to the same controlled thinking of like, I've got to figure this out. I've got to manage this. What's this gonna do? And like, and like we freak out, and then we need to put some roadblocks in there. And this is where food is a great roadblock. Food obsession and addiction, great roadblock. Chaos, drama, busyness, right? Work being super busy, health issues, lots of things can all of a sudden slow down the rate of change, getting super caught up with what other people are doing. The family needs me now. Life's gotten really busy. There's just so much happening and being pulled in a million directions. There's a million things that can sort of happen to create that distraction and disturbance to slow down that rate of change. And so this is kind of the game that we play constantly, which is why one of the next level tools that I love to teach the women and the men and the people who I have an opportunity to work with is how to meet every single moment as an access point or a launching pad, and how to actually be able to launch through and beyond those little places so that you can actually continue to free fall into the exponential change, transformation, freedom, I don't know-ness, because it's incredible, because that's really when you can cultivate that capacity, game on. That's like the secret. That's the secret. I know like there was a whole thing called The Secret, but I mean, that is the secret. Like to be able to not fall back in your pattern and to be able to continue to launch into the next level. It like you do that, you can say bye-bye to addictions. They just won't ever be there again. And you can just say hello to feeling more and more fulfilled and having more and more, you know, the more that we really show the universe, God, spirit, source, goddess, that we are available to receive, the more we will receive, the more that will come our way. And we just get to be like increasingly grateful for it and then lean in for more. We get to start to play with life instead of feeling like we are being like leveled by it, or somehow we need to get control of it, or that we're fighting it, or it's not going our way, or if it would just look this way, then it would finally be going our way, and whatever. We kind of learn how to just become like really like cosmic kids, you know, just dancing with life, which is like, doesn't that sound fun? That's so much more fun. That's so much more fun. Carla, yay. It must be really late over there in the EU, sister. And Audrey, sister, I'm actually at Girl Live. Where are you? I'm actually here right now. You should be here. But it's really good to see your face. And I want to know what time it is in the EU right now, because it cannot be late. I mean, it cannot be early. It's late. It's late. It's bedtime. It's bedtime, but you're a student, so it's okay. So again, if you're just tuning in right now, I want to hear from you. I want to know what the top 3 things are that you are calling in, that you really want to feel experience or have by the end of this year, in the next 6 months, that you would love to experience or have over the next 6 months? I mean, Julie, I'm just going to use you as an example because you're amazing, and everyone who's tuning in is amazing. And I just want to use you as an example because I remember you, like, you've really gotten highly skilled at this quality of feeling the fear and taking the action anyway, of having the courage, of standing up, raising your hand, of really calling into the space. I'm here to claim my voice. I'm here to speak up. I'm here to actually, you know, like, and to use your own language, like, to not, like, you know, to complete my sentences and to actually speak up and to have a voice and to, I mean, like, to feel you coming into the fullness of you, and to see you getting free from anxiety and from the addiction to the news and to, like, you know, bad news and things like that. I mean, like, just this stuff, and like getting free of the dieting. Like, I mean, just like freedom can happen because you're just like game on for this stuff. Game on, what's next? Game on, what's next? And I love that. And so I'm excited, actually. I'd love to hear what you would love for the next 6 months, and what you would love to feel over the next 6 months or in 6 months from now, because, you know, you called out some pretty powerful things, and, like, I mean, it's all happened, you know? I'm like, wow, this sister's calling in things going on for her. So, you know, this stuff, you know, like, so what are those 3 things? So please share that. If you're tuning in right now, please share that stuff. And then, you know, if you have an idea of one of the things that is really getting in the way for you or preventing you from having what you ultimately want, then please share that too. If you'd like to share what you feel like it's costing you to be in this place of stuckness or of longing or of, you know, just frustration or exhaustion, or, you know, wherever you find yourself, or just that sort of like that tension of like knowing you're ready for something next, and it's like, what is it, or how am I holding myself back from that? So we talked a little bit about the hedger. If you've got that hedger energy, if you kind of get all dressed up and ready to go to the party, and then you back away from the edge and you never fully take that step. And again, as we spoke about earlier, as long as you are living in your current paradigm, as long as you are standing on that figurative diving board, peering over the edge, going, oh, well, yeah, it looks like a long leap over there. It looks like a big dive. As long as you're standing there, as long as you're in this current mental consciousness, you do not have what it takes to actually live into that reality, that transformation, that trajectory of life, to have, feel, or experience that thing that you're wanting. It lives in a different trajectory, because the only thing that will get you there is to leap out of, to launch out of where you currently are right now, to let yourself go fully, to dive in with both feet into the I don't know-ness, into, I call it free falling into the I don't know. It's like it can be the scariest and the most thrilling and the most rewarding thing that you ever, ever, ever will do. Ever. Every single time. I always feel like I'm going to puke. I always feel like I'm going to die, because there is a part of us that's going to die. Our ego is going to die. The part of us that is gripping to our current paradigm, to our current mental state, to the world that we know, to who we think we are, to how we think it is, to what we think is possible. That part of us does die. Just like Mary said, the person who is well is not the same as the person who is sick. I really want to leave you with these final pieces of getting clear. Hey, Laura, getting clear on what it is that you want. And again, if you want any support with that, it would be my absolute honor and pleasure. I know there's many of you that I've already done breakthrough sessions with, or that I am supposed to be doing breakthrough sessions with in the coming weeks. So I really look forward to that. And if you and I haven't, for some reason, scheduled that, put breakthrough in the comments, and we can definitely get you the details for being able to schedule that. Really start to think about that. What are these things that you were calling in, and how do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What do you want to have over the next 6 months? What do you feel like is getting in the way for you? What do you feel like that thing is? What is that costing you? And what is one thing that you can do right now, or one thing that you need, one thing that's missing for you, that you feel like can move you one step closer to actually getting on that trajectory of truly having, experiencing, and feeling what you truly, deeply desire. That is what, hey Jane, hey Becca, that is what I want to leave you with here. That is what I invite you to do. And please, hey Lindsay, please share in our group. Use this group. The Congruence Collective is specifically designed for this very thing, to support you on your pathway of living free from whatever addictions or obsessions are holding you back, of truly feeling comfortable in your skin and having the confidence to shine your unique and authentic light. The world needs you. It needs more of you. It's ready for you. And so really it's about you coming into that deepest congruency within inside of yourself, so that you can feel that worthiness just emanating out of you, that it's like, oh my gosh, the very next thing for me to do is to shine my light, to share my voice, to share my story, to help these people, to do these things. It's like you're lit up from the inside out. That is what I deeply want for you. That is what I see for you. It's all happening. It's all happening. And to the extent that I can support you on your pathway, on your journey, for calling these things in, for having these things, for experiencing these things, for embodying these things, just know that it would be my absolute honor and pleasure. My absolute honor and pleasure. Because I really feel like we are together. We are this global constellation, and we are so truly just here to shine and to share that light and to connect with each other. And that this global constellation, even just within this own community of, over 500 beautiful lights, if you just think about us, all of us scattered all over the world, and you think about those light cords going and connecting all of us from the very center, from our, the center of our bodies, from right here, I don't know if for any of you who remember the Care Bears, do you remember the Care Bears? And the Care Bears used to have this Care Bear stare, and it would literally come straight out from their belly. And that's what I feel like we're all doing, this beautiful Care Bear stare, just connecting all of us together. This is what is so possible. So this is actually how I feel like we're going to spread light in the whole world. We're going to do it together. So any way that I can support you on that path, please know that it is my absolute honor to do that. And that everybody else in this community is here to do that for you too. So you are not alone. I love you. Thank you, everybody who tuned in here today. Happy June 1st. Happy first day. It's like the first of the year, kind of, for the next 6 months, right? And then we get to just celebrate. I want to hear your posts. I want to hear in the group what you're calling in, what you would love to have. I want to hear these things. Let's all beam and celebrate it together. Loving you so much. Bye-bye. Mwah.